Happy Halloween! It is spooky season, and to celebrate, I'm ranking every Halloween episode of one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, The Office. The Office premiered on American television in 2005 and ran 9 incredibly successful seasons until 2013. It stars Steve Carrell, John Krasinski, Jenna Fisher, Rainn Wilson as the lovable office workers at the paper company Dunder Mifflin. It was adapted from a UK version starring Ricky Gervais, and I don't need to tell you anymore. I'm sure you've watched The Office hundreds of times, just like I have. Let's jump right in with number 5 from season 5, episode 6, Employee Transfer. Holly and Michael are heading up to Nashua after corporate finds out that they're dating. At this point in the series, Pam and Jim are engaged. This is my least favorite Halloween episode of the series, but let's start with the positives. Daryl has a larger role in this episode, and Craig Robinson is great as he drives Michael and Holly up to Nashua. Creed, Dwight, and Kevin are all dressed as the Joker. But that's about all the Halloween that we get. Halloween is only happening in the scene before the opening credits, before the episode moves on, so this episode barely makes the list. Next is season 9, episode 4, Here Comes Treble. This is the episode where Jim invests all of his and Pam's money into his new company, and Andy brings his old a cappella group to the office Halloween party. Now, this episode ranks lower in the list simply because I hate Andy and all of his storylines. But props where props are due, the costumes in this are iconic. Dwight with the pumpkin head in the cold open, that is literally iconic. Creed is inexplicably covered in blood.
Halloween. That is really, really good timing.
Meredith as Black Widow, love it. And we can't forget Sexy Toby and the almost kiss that makes me die laughing and cringe at the same time every time I watch it. In the number 3 spot, we have season 2, episode 5, the OG Halloween episode, Halloween. This is early in the series, so downsizing is still a main storyline, and Michael is trying to decide who he's going to fire before the office Halloween party. While nothing in this episode stands out to me as laugh out loud funny, it's a classic Office episode. Steve Carrell is still in the cast portraying Michael's shenanigans. Pam and Jim aren't together yet, so their flirting is still cute and endearing. It's a solid episode. Moving on to second place, season 7, episode 6, Costume Contest. In this episode, Daryl is now the warehouse manager working upstairs in the office, and it makes me root for him every time, the way he goes over Michael's head with his great idea. Jim and Pam are married with a kid at this point, so while we don't see their flirty chemistry that we saw in earlier seasons, it's still cute to watch Jim get over his indifference to costumes when he dresses up as Popeye to stand up for Pam. The costume contest itself is my favorite part of this episode. Everyone's competitive side is brought out, even Angela. So shenanigans and hilarity, of course, ensue. Quick pause before I get to my favorite Halloween episode. I have to take the time to mention some honorary Halloween episodes that didn't quite make the list. Season 3, episode 6, Diwali. This is not technically a Halloween episode, but in typical Michael fashion, Michael mistakes Diwali for Hindu Halloween and tells his realtor girlfriend that it's a costume party. Classic Michael. The other honorary mention is season 6, episode 8, Koi Pond. Or is it episode 9? Or wait, maybe 10? I had to go to the depths of the internet to find this Halloween scene because they're trying to gaslight us and pretend this scene never happened. This cut originally aired when the episode aired live on television, but was cut from the DVD release, and it's not currently streaming on Peacock. I've seen bits and pieces of this episode somewhere, but it's like the Mandela effect. I don't know what memories are real or not. Apparently this scene was cut because it was too offensive when Michael pretended to hang himself in the office's haunted house. Which, if you have a problem with that, I don't know why you're watching The Office. Okay, back to the list. The episode coming in at number 1 for best Halloween episode is season 8, episode 5, Spooked. At this point in the series, Robert is CEO of Sabre and Andy is branch manager. Aaron and Andy are not together, Jim and Pam are already married, and both Pam and Angela are pregnant. This episode shines because poor innocent Erin is trying her best to spook up the party, make it sexier, and she's just so funny.
pecker poker. It's the game of cards that gets you hard.
Robert is being his usual creepy self, but the story he builds is actually really good. But the best part is the after effect. Kelly and Ryan hugging, Jim and Pam putting aside their differences, and most of all, Erin standing up for herself with Andy. All in all, a very sweet and of course hilarious episode of Halloween at The Office. Do you agree with my ranking? Give this video a thumbs up. Have a different favorite episode? I'll see you in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Belle from Joss and Belle. We put out videos every week talking about our favorite TV shows and new movies, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. And I mean, come on, I'm wearing a vampire costume, like the least you could do is subscribe.